Nah, what are you talking about? Nah, definitely not. I can already smell what some of y'all are thinking. Lego, you just wanted to make this video as an excuse to dive into nostalgia. You just wanted to talk about this one guy. This guy who made some comments on Steve Yzerman and who called him out. You just want to talk about him one more time. And, yeah, okay, you got me. That's kind of exactly what I'm doing. I'm making this video as an excuse to talk about a guy whose face I literally have plastered right beside me right here. Yeah, that's right, baby. I've got some stuff hanging on my wall of this player, and I am recording this audio literally at the same time. We're talking about some comments made by former NHL goalie Cory Schneider, who spoke about the Yzerplan, I'm guessing on NHL Network TV, saying that it is moving at a glacial pace. And I thought this was interesting because a lot of folks went down there into the replies and got pretty ticked off. There were a lot of folks getting upset at Cory Schneider's comments here, and I'm not going to go out there and read all of them because there are a lot, but there are a bunch of people saying, oh, who the hell is Cory Schneider? F Cory Schneider. Screw Cory Schneider. Shut the F up. Like, everybody's getting upset in the replies to this. And I wanted to go out there and talk about it, because not only is Cory Schneider a really beloved topic in my own personal psyche as a hockey fan, but also because I do think there are some good enough reasons to talk about Steve Yzerman and the Yzerplan and how glacially slow, you can say it is. But first, I wanted to talk about the folks that are disrespecting my guy. Nah, you can't be going out there and saying that about Cory Schneider, like it or not, his sentiments on the Yzerplan. This is a guy whose disrespect I will absolutely not tolerate, because Cory Schneider, 39 years old, was a former Vancouver Canucks goaltender drafted in the first round in 2004. He was a Boston College stud who went through the NCAA ranks a la Thatcher Demko, and who inevitably found himself in the Vancouver Canucks organization, getting some significant playing time in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. This is because there were some complications with the way Roberto Luongo was playing in the 2011 Stanley Cup Playoffs in certain games against Chicago and Boston, but Cory Schneider, as the super clutch backup goaltender that he was, had a .929 save percentage in 25 games played. He played in multiple Stanley Cup Finals games, and he had a .915 save percentage in the playoffs that year. I still stand by my 10-year-old self's perspective in 2010-2011 that said that if Cory Schneider started Game 7 for Vancouver against the Boston Bruins, the Canucks would have won the Stanley Cup. I understand why they went with Luongo. You had to go with Luongo. It was Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and Luongo had been lights out at home. But just going off of the momentum, going off of who was looking good and who was looking bad, Cory Schneider, I think he was the guy. If he was playing, I think the Canucks may have won. But anyways, all Vancouver trauma aside, Cory Schneider followed up this crazy season where he played in the finals as a rookie by posting up a .937 save percentage in 33 games and a .196 goals against average the next season. Cory Schneider then had a .960 save percentage in the playoffs that year as the Vancouver Canucks lost in the first round to the LA Kings, the 8th-seeded LA Kings who inevitably found themselves winning the Stanley Cup that year. In 2010, 2011, and 2012, the Vancouver Canucks lost in the playoffs to the inevitable Stanley Cup champion every single year. 2010, they lost to Chicago in round 2. They ended up winning the Cup. 2011, of course, they lost to Boston, and they ended up losing in the finals. And then 2012, they lost to LA, who ended up winning the Cup as well. Vancouver was going through this weird phase where they just could not beat the inevitable Cup champs, and Cory Schneider was right there for all of it. The season after, he had a .927 save percentage in 30 games played, but an .880 as the Canucks lost in the first round to the San Jose Sharks. It was at this point that there was the entire Luongo-Schneider controversy, and Schneider inevitably got traded over to the New Jersey Devils, where he posted up back-to-back-to-back 9-2+ save percentage seasons. He then started to get a little bit hurt, and the rest of his career unfolded, ending off in 2023 after his injuries pretty much stopped him from playing hockey full-time. He remains, in my opinion, one of the most untapped stories of what could have been, because of the injuries. Had he just been healthy the whole time, Cory Schneider was essentially everything that Thatcher Demko is and was, injuries included. Schneider was fantastic, and if he just was healthy, he would have been one of the GOATs of the 2010s. Anyways, let's go back over to Steve Yzerman. Sorry, yeah, I know. I just used this video as an excuse to talk about this guy. Please don't disrespect my guy, Cory, but I do think he has a point here. The Yzerplan has been growing in a really slow way, and the question is whether or not you feel that this criticism is justified. Rebuilds take a long time. Yes, but you know who else has been rebuilding throughout this entire time frame that Detroit has? Montreal, Ottawa, two teams that are in the playoffs right now, and sure, they haven't won a game combined in their first-round series just yet, but I think the same sentiment with the Montreal Canadiens that we've been bringing up the entire time still applies here. It's bonus hockey. It is extra house money. Folks did not expect the Canadiens to actually make the playoffs when they were 31st in the NHL around December. But now they're here. Sure, they haven't won a game yet, but they look pretty competitive, and they're in this fight given their guys' experience and doing it with a good core of young players. Detroit is in a spot where a lot of their core is older. Not just Larkin, Raymond, DeBrincat, okay, but everybody else around these guys. It's been a veteran, middle-aged assembled team around these younger players, and the question is, Stevie Y, what's the plan? Because these veteran guys aren't necessarily making the team significantly better. There are other draft picks in the organization that are getting better and that are going to continue growing and developing. And while I do believe that the best days are yet to come for Detroit, I can understand the criticism that says, yeah, they've been growing at a really slow pace. Last year, they were close to making the playoffs. This year, they were further away. This is not the season that you want to see out of a team that is taking their time developing young talent and is, in theory, slowly becoming better. Do you have enough time to wait for Kasper, for Danielson, for Kosa, for Axel Sandin Pellikka, for whomever it is the Red Wings draft 12th overall this year? Larkin's getting up there, man. And at some point, you're going to have to realize that his timeline for success is best suited for right now. You can't wait an extra 5-6 years for Larkin to fizzle out into his early 30s and finally say at that point, oh yeah, now we'll start to be competitive. Just keeping everybody's age in mind and keeping the team's statistical ranking every season in mind, I would honestly agree here. The Yzerplan is moving at a glacial pace. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily there's no hope. I understand the prospects are young and these guys are going to get better, but when you think about the guys who charge this team forward, when you think about Dylan Larkin and his comments that he made the other day and whether or not he's frustrated with being on the Red Wings, there are other conversations that we can have that I think should be discussed here. Like the next video we're going to make on this channel, because there was an article in Canucks Army that I want to dive into that asks whether or not Dylan Larkin could head over to Vancouver. So stick around, because we're going to talk about that particular commentary topic in the next video. For now, though, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Steve Yzerman, the Yzerplan, and what Cory Schneider had to say about it, presumably on NHL Network television programming. Put some respect on my guy Cory Schneider's name, and it's not just because I got figures of the guy hanging in my room. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.